Hey guys, I'm Dave and welcome to the Trull Gallery. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to tear down my house. Like I said, this won't be my typical video. I'm not going to build anything. I'm going to destroy something. Well, I have someone coming to destroy something. You see, our house is 99 years old. The foundation is shot. The windows are shot. The termite damage and, well, it's just tired. We've been working on these plans for way longer than we should have, and it's finally time to get started. And the first step in that is tearing down the house. Before we tear things down, let's take a look at some of the challenges our current house has. This is the good side of the roof, and I use that term loosely. There are several rotted rafter tails and more than one weird patch job from way before our time. And see that air conditioner? That's one of two portable units we have because the main AC unit can't keep up with the summer heat in Florida. Mostly because there's no insulation in the walls or under the floors and just a bit in the attic. On the other side of the house, you can see our serpentine roofline. And this is a better view of the single-pane aluminum framed windows. Oh, and that lattice work? That's hiding our open foundation, which is not real popular with insurance companies here. Then there's the small shop that I've added a tarp to so I could gain a bit more space. As tired as the house is, the rear gable vent is the only damage we sustained in last fall's back-to-back hurricanes. The inside of the house has some lovely design details. We pulled up the carpet the day we closed on the house, and we've been living with this floor ever since. Well, more and more of those fancy floor tiles have peeled off over time. Those 2x4s by the window aren't just a fancy plant stand. They're supporting the ceiling that started to fall in. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but when it rains, we have an indoor water feature. The good news is the floor is so beat, the water tends to drain out if we forget to empty the buckets in time. This plywood patch on the floor is where we took out a 24-inch thick wall that hid the original chimney. And let's talk more about that ceiling. The kitchen had a drop ceiling, and when we removed that, there was just a sheet of plastic holding the insulation in place. And the plywood up there? That supports the plaster and lath ceiling that fell on my head a few years ago. And the 2x4 wall in the back we had hoped to remove, but it's structural. And yes, it has looked like that since we moved in. On the other side of the house, things are in slightly better shape, but there is this random metal plate covering what we only assume is one of the many soft spots in the floor. We pulled up the subflooring in one bedroom and found the original flooring. We think it's Doug fir, but there's a lot of paint and a lot of termite damage. The other bedroom has one of our favorite details. We call it the water closet since the previous owner added a toilet and sink in there. And for some reason decided no door was necessary on a bathroom. Once we moved out, we decided to host a demolition party where our friends could come over and blow off some steam. We found some old knob and tube wiring that luckily was not connected. Lots of plaster and lath and 100-year-old 2x4s that are actually 2 inches by 4 inches. I did manage to salvage several of those and the bricks from the chimney, and we'll work those back into the new house. I was a bit surprised to see how many changes the house went through over the years. You can see 3 or 4 doors that have been moved and reframed. I did ask everyone not to attack the outside walls, since I still had to remove the solar panels from the roof, and I didn't want the house to collapse while I was up there. When we had the panels installed, the solar company told me they would charge me $1,000 to remove and replace the panels when we needed a new roof. When I contacted them to pull the panels, the price had jumped to $5,000 just to remove them. So I took them down myself. It took about 8 hours over 2 days. I figured that to be about $625 an hour. I think I am in the wrong line of work. The demolition was scheduled, and Margaret and I both planned to take the day off to watch. Then we get an email saying the demolition company is on its way, 6 days early. By the time I got to the house at 9 a.m., this was all that was left. I'm not positive, but I think the first load had already been hauled away. One of my neighbors even sent me some footage of the dumpster being loaded. I know I wanted to add larger equipment to the shop, but this wasn't exactly what I had in mind. The right track of that beast is roughly where my Mitasaw station lived. An hour or so later, all that was left was our front walk, and this machine made quick work of that. I'm pretty sure I've owned cars smaller than the bucket on that thing. By mid-afternoon, all the debris was gone. The lot was level, and to be fair, the yard hasn't looked this good in a while. At least I don't have to worry about mowing the lawn anymore. This is the look of the new house. Okay, it's one of the marketing shots, but it's close to what we're going to build. We see a lot of old bungalows being torn down and replaced with what I call California modern houses, and they just don't fit the neighborhood. We're keeping the look of our 100-year-old home. The new footprint is a bit larger, but not much. The layout is similar, but we're picking up an extra bedroom, a nicer kitchen, and look at that garage. It's nearly twice the size of the old shop. We had hoped to salvage the house when we first bought it, but we later realized it was in much worse condition than we thought. Between the questionable foundation, the termite damage, and the cheap windows, it became more cost-effective to start from scratch. And several people have asked me if I plan to rebuild the house myself, and they all get the same answer. Hell no. I'm too old to be throwing concrete blocks, and we want this to be finished in our lifetime. There will be regular updates, and I will handle some of the detail work near the end, but the building will be done by the pros. Sure, Laura, Jimmy, Matt, Michael, and even Dan have rebuilt their places on video, but they're all younger than I am, so I'll pass, thank you very much. While we're waiting on our permits to be approved, it's back to the shop for me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video. Do you think we're nuts for demolishing a house just to rebuild it? Have you ever gone through this yourself? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. If you enjoyed this video, maybe give us a thumbs up and share it with friends. And if you haven't already, maybe it's time to hit that subscribe button and a little bell so you get notified each time I put out a new video. As usual, I'm not sure what's coming up next, but it should be something interesting. So until then, have a great day, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.